I'm Charu. Welcome to Parenting Teens in a Complex World. Today we're going to talk about teamwork. Traditionally, fathers were seen as the breadwinners, roti rozi kamana unka kaam tha, and mothers the prime caregivers, taking care of children, changing diapers. But in today's modern world, fathers are frequently equally involved in upbringing children. Shattering patriarchal thinking, behavioral change is taking place, and the male is cooperating in daily household chores, especially in times of COVID. So let's talk to new age parents.
The role of both the parents in the upbringing of a child are extremely important. The mother and the father. They are a team. That's how we look at it. We don't look at mother separately and father separately. Of course, there are separate roles you play as well, but largely parents are a team. So I think that's the way modern families usually now approach parenting. I don't think now, that at least in our house, we don't function in a way that, okay, the father was this person you couldn't approach to, and this stoic figure who, you know, you showed your report cards to and he would just sign on it. It's not like that. A father is as involved. He's a father, he's a parent, he's a half parent, and he's as involved in a child's life. And in my case, my girls seek a lot of guidance from him, and he's really there for guiding them and telling them what to do, whether it's a homework problem or whether it's a life problem, and anything. I mean, I think that as they're growing up, his position, his role is becoming even more important, I would say, as opposed to when they were little. But I think as the girls, especially in my case, as the girls are growing older, he's a huge, guiding force for them, and they really look up to him. And they come up to both of us, and they want answers, and they don't think, this is the question that I can only ask my mother or I can only ask my father. They feel that they have parents, and they can go to their parents with anything.
Sharing the responsibility while bringing them up was both between me and my husband. So it was more of fun time and doing masti with Papa. And when they had to really sit down and talk serious discussions, that was Mummy. And we had our arguments as well.
Gopika, I know talking to your daughter about periods may have been a little awkward at first. Did you openly discuss menstruation as a normal process of growing up?
I would say my daughter was very aware, when she actually got her menstruation. It was a combination of two things. One, I told her very early myself. I told her when she was 10, and she got them around 13. But the school also had a very important role to play. They actually have this session called Need to Know. So they take the boys separately and the girls separately, and they tell them everything about their bodies. So, they have it in class 5. Nowadays, some girls are getting periods early, so they do it quite early in schools. And the children, and they, I think the approach is very healthy. The way they approach it doesn't make it like a taboo. Oh, you shouldn't tell, and all of that, the stuff that we grew up with. My daughters are not growing up with any of those. It's a natural process of the body, and it's something that they don't need to be ashamed of. It's something that's normal. She knew she had this little book for girls, and she knew exactly, in fact, she told me it was really funny what she was getting, like period pains, which I thought one day. And I said, maybe, your periods are coming. And she says, no, Mama, I'm going to get this and this and this, and then my periods will come. So she knew exactly the changes that will occur in her body before she gets her periods. I mean, she was that aware.
In a highly connected world, one of the dangers children face is cyberbullying. What preventive steps can a parent take if such a thing is possible?
Cyberbullying is a serious issue. I feel that every parent of a teenager should be very aware of the fact that this is something that can happen to them. It's not something that happens to somebody else's child. I think that's the first thing to accept. I mean, I've had friends who've, been as aware and as connected, and it's happened to their children. So don't think that it can't happen to your child. I'm very close to my child and can't happen. It can. So I think that's the premise you should begin with. My daughter hasn't faced it yet, but I'm very, very aware of what's happening in her world. So I do try to make sure that, it's not happening. There are a couple of things you can do. I think one is to, of course, understand, what they're doing online. Also, it's important to see the signs in your child. So, for instance, your child suddenly becomes depressed or stops talking or just acts differently, beyond, what's acceptable. So I think that's important to then sort of have your radar on and say what's wrong. I think that's one of the reasons, because they may not be able to tell you, or they may be trying to figure it out in their head sometimes. So I think it's important to just have your radar on when it comes to your child's behavior. The other very important thing I feel is to let your child know that you're there for him or her. And having said that, when you do that, it's important not to give out a contradictory, behavior when your child comes to you. I think sometimes as parents, when your child does come to you with a problem, we've given them the confidence that they can come to you. But then when they do, we stiffen up or we have a reaction which, even if it's a reflex action, it sort of sets them off and say, okay, maybe I shouldn't have told her. It's angered my mother or it's upset her. So while I'm not saying you should bottle up your emotions in front of your child, it's important to be controlled so that you're sending out the right signal. They're watching you, they're watching your body language, they're watching your reactions. So just make them, give them reassurance that it's okay.
We can't deny that we're living in a highly sexually provocative environment. Do you openly talk about issues of sexuality with your children in an age-appropriate manner, of course?
I remember the way I was brought up by my mother. It was more of a friendly atmosphere. I could go and speak to her, and I think the same way I brought my daughters. They were free to come and speak to me about anything, and I always gave them the space to make mistakes and learn from their own mistakes instead of me telling what is right and wrong, because times have changed. What is right for us may not be right for them.
Do you constantly monitor your child's online and offline activities, checking the teenager's room, texts, emails, phone calls, wanting to know each and every detail, of course for security reasons?
What I do is I try and be on the same platforms as they are, and I follow my daughter, and she has a private account, so I make sure it's not a public account, and that I follow her, so I can look at the conversations they're having. Having said that, I don't think that I want to plug into each and every conversation they're having, because I do want to allow her privacy as well. She's a teenager, and teenagers don't, beyond a point like you to pry. So I don't want to pry into her life. It's a very thin line, but I do want to know what's happening. So it's a balance that you have to walk, and but it's very important to know, who they are talking to or what conversations they're having, because they also may not realize that they are maybe walking into something that they won't be able to handle or to lead to something else. So I think that be constantly vigilant, understand what they're doing, and keep your lines and channels of communication open with them. So if they ever need to speak to you,
Have an open relationship with your child and one of trust. There may be hiccups. They may try to vocalize sexual thoughts, non-wed jokes, double entendre words, even making hints about their own sexual activity, just to gauge parents' reaction and readiness to talk about sex. Never exhibit contradictory behavior, because next time your child may not come to you with a problem. Reassure your children you're there for them. Main hoon na. If you find this talk interesting, like, share, comment, subscribe. Until next time.